Mike's on. Mike's on.
All right, a little after 2. Again, as I just told you, my buddy Lee Einsider, who is the guy who, along with Sidney Frank, they started Grey Goose many, many years ago. That's what brought him to the fan. It was over 20 years ago. So he's been a friend ever since. He, long after Grey Goose was sold, he started another business with George Clooney that just got sold, Casamigos Tequila, another great success with that. So he today has, and he's a good friend of mine. He's the guy that, we're in the racetrack, the horse business together a little bit. And he has decided to match any offer made during the show today to up it by 50%. So take advantage of that by whatever you give, $1, $2, $5, $10, $50, $100. He will put 50% extra on it. That's very generous of him to do that on this Hungathon Day. So we thank him for that. It's extremely generous of him to do that and take advantage of that by adding to it at any moment. You can add. So if you donate $100, he'll add $50 on top of it all day to any matching gift to the show. So do that. We'll also get all the auction items. We'll update those each half hour, whether it's the Bernie Williams guitar or the Billy Joel guitar or any of the packages and everything else. We'll get to all those. Right now we want to welcome in one of the great offensive players in the league, Greg Olsen, who joins us now, who is back. Will be back playing. He's not going to miss a game in Meadowlands, I'm sure. The former Wayne Hill star joins us now as Carolina comes to town to take on the Jets, and he will be back. Last week he was in the booth as he gets ready for career number 2. Greg, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. All right. So first, you're ready to go. You're healthy again, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Yesterday, got back to practice, for the first time. Felt good just kind of getting out there, moving around. Get back out there again tomorrow, kind of for the start of the official prep for the Jets. And, just hopefully as things continue to progress, the plan is to, make my first game back on Sunday up at MetLife, up in my old stomping grounds a little bit. And I'm excited for that.
Have you I'm trying to go back. How many games have you played there as a pro?
I've played a few. I've played a couple against the Jets, a couple against the Giants over the years. So I've been there a few times now.
All right. How about being in the booth last week? How did that work out?
It was fun. Obviously it came under a little fire during the week prepping for it. But once we got started, the team at Fox was super. They were great to work with, Kevin and Charles and Pam and everybody. So it was a great experience. It was fun. I'll tell you what, those guys work hard. They prep.
They put in a lot of time. They do.
They put in a ton of time. Those broadcasts that we all see and hear and take for granted, there's a lot of work that goes in to make them sound so, flawless and effortless. It's a gift. Those guys are really good, and they put in the time.
And they're a team. As someone who grew up in that business, their production meetings are serious, as you found out, and they really take the whole teamwork thing. That's a team. That's a team all year. They work together as a team, and they're a pretty seamless group too.
They are. I mean, I was just blown away by how much dialogue there is, before the broadcast and the night before the meetings and, prepping graphics and prepping storylines. And then during the broadcast, how much dialogue there is between the producers in the truck and the broadcasters on air and Pam on the sideline, and just constant dialogue, I'll tell you, it's a full operation. It's really impressive. They're very professional, and, they made my life very easy. It was easy to make a debut when you work with a group like that.
We're talking with Carolina's Greg Olsen. Now, what he meant that came under fire is because he's an active player, there was some scuttlebutt about him not having access to the team, which usually broadcasters meet with coaches. They go to the facility. Some of them even go to practice, depending on the coach. Some say yes, some say no, depending. Usually they'll let you in at least for a couple of minutes. And from that standpoint, they don't want you involved in any of that stuff.
Yeah, which was the plan all along. We never intended on me going to either side's practice, either side's meetings. I didn't even go down on the field before the game started. I just hung up in the booth when Kevin and Charles went down on the field to kind of walk around like you see a lot of the broadcasters do during pregame. So I stayed out of it. Never imagined in a million years that everyone was going to get as upset about it. But I think once the broadcast started and it seemed like everybody was fairly receptive and positive, I think it was a good experience for all, and I think everybody kind of got over it.
Before I get to Francesa and what you're promoting, this South race, even now after last night Atlanta's win, this is going to be a great race. You got 3 teams, all very competitive. The Saints have won 8 straight. You guys, Atlanta, everyone between 8-2 and 6-4. That's a lot of division games down the stretch. Division games to finish up. Carolina plays Atlanta the last week. It's going to be a fun race this South the rest of the way.
It is. I mean, I think we got the best. I think we have the best division right now in football.
I agree.
I think if it ended right now, I think we got 3 teams in the playoffs, which is hard to do. But again, like you said, we got, of our final 6, 3 are inside the division. We go on the road both to Atlanta and to New Orleans. So we got our work cut out for us. We got to come up here and come off the bye and play well against New York on Sunday. And, we got to catch, we know it's in front of us. We got to catch New Orleans. So every game it's going to come down to every game and every win and every tiebreaker. So we got to get each one each week.
How about the fine line with your team and your offense with Cam as the idea of how much you want to turn him loose to run versus trying to keep him healthy and utilizing how good he is when the offense and how much the offense clicks when he does use his legs?
Yeah, I think it's a very fine line, but I think as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, as he's gotten healthier and he's kind of gotten settled in a little bit coming off the off-season surgery and with his shoulder and whatnot, I think, you see the kind of dynamic player that he is and just how much pressure that puts on defenses when he can pull the ball and take off and design run or scramble on a pass and keep plays alive and end up throwing it. I don't know if there's anybody who's played the position like he has. Certainly not right now, and I don't know if ever. So it's a pretty unique ability that he has at that position, and I think that's what makes him special. So at some point, I think you just say, hey, you're a big boy. You go out and you do what's made you special, what's won you the MVP, and I think when he does that, he just plays better all around.
We're talking about Carolina's Greg Olsen. This is the golden era for tight ends. It really is it's a time to be a tight end because, boy, it's amazing. I go back a generation when the tight end did so little in terms of it went to a time when they did catch a lot of passes, then a time when they caught very few passes, and now back to a time when they really are featured enormously in these offenses.
It is. It's been fun. I kind of came into the league when, Jason Witten, who's still playing, which is impressive in itself, and Tony Gonzalez and those guys were kind of, elevating the position and then, a young influx of talent. And it seems like every year, the guy up at the Giants, Ingram, he's having a good rookie year. It's across the league. Teams are looking for guys who can play that position and play it at a high level. And, teams are desperate to find it. There's not a lot of them in the college game. And once you find one, I think teams are realizing what they can do for your offense. So if you can get your hands on them, I think teams realize it's a game changer. So it's been fun to kind of see the ebbs and flows of the position and be a part of it. And it's been fun to watch not only the old guys but some of these new guys come into the league and what they're able to do is impressive.
Is it easier to take the pass catcher and turn him into an okay blocker, or is it easier to take the blocker and turn him into an okay pass catcher?
I think if you have a pass catcher who's a willing blocker, you can teach them to do the run game stuff. I think it's very hard to teach the pass catching. I think there's just some guys who naturally have movement ability, have natural ability to change direction, run routes, understand it. And there's some guys who are just natural catchers. They catch the ball well in their hands. They track the ball well. And there's only so many drills you can do to teach that. Some you either have it or you don't. I think the run game stuff, if you're willing and you're not afraid to put your face in there, I think a good coach can make you into a good, solid run game blocker. I think if you have a big guy who's a natural blocker and a natural point of attack guy, if he doesn't have the skills in the passing game and to move and track the ball and catch, if you can't run in today's game, you're going to be covered fairly easily. So I think you want to find guys that have those unique traits and the willingness, and you can teach them the rest.
You can tell that he's going to be a future broadcaster just by the answers. We're talking with Greg Olsen. All right, tell me about FanChest.
Yeah, this time of year. Everyone's obviously looking for the perfect gift, and a lot of us being sports fans and whatnot struggle. You can just go, it's simple. You go to fanchest.com, figure out what your favorite team is for a gift for a loved one, type it in, and they take care of the rest, and that box of merchandise and gear shows up right at their door. So perfect for this time of year, perfect for the sports fan in your life, and they take all the worry out of it.
So FanChest will detail the stuff for you. You don't have to worry about that stuff. They'll come up with the stuff that fits the team and the person in question.
Exactly. They curate it. Once you tell them exactly what the team is and what they're interested in, they handpick all the items, pack the box, curate it all, ship it, and it shows up right at your door. And you give it. It can come pre-wrapped. It could come gift-wrapped, whatever you want. So this time of year, it's pretty awesome.
All right, go to fanchest.com. Thanks for a couple of minutes. Stay healthy the rest of the way. Should be fun to watch you guys compete with those teams. Should be a lot of fun. So good luck, and we'll talk to you along the way. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Right, Gregg Olsen, the tight end for the Carolina Panthers, who are in town this week. Wayne Hill's star and one of the really talented tight ends in the league. They need him back in the offense. He gets back in the offense this week, and that's going to be a great race. As we said, Atlanta's win last night. They're 6-4. New Orleans is 8-2. Atlanta has 5 division games left. Carolina has 3 division games left. Carolina already has a win over Atlanta. That's the one game Atlanta's lost in the division, one game they've played. So it's going to be a wonderful race the rest of the way. All 3 teams have serious aspirations. Atlanta, being the third of the 3, might be the most talented of the 3 when on their best day. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, Fanchest, again, go to fanchest.com, Fanchest, one word, Fanchest.com for more information. Sounds like an interesting thing. You want to check it out. I think it sounds like a good gift. So we'll see what happens. Now, we thank Greg Olsen for that. We got a guest coming up in a minute from kind of a blast from the past who's going to join us. We'll get to that as we'll welcome him in. He's connected to the Hungathon, so we'll get to that in a minute. But first, let me give you a couple of numbers just to jump on. Again, the number is 1-800-5-HUNGRY. 1-800-5-HUNGRY. That's the number. And again, hungathon.org/WFAN. 1-800-5-HUNGRY. 1-800-548-6479. You can get to the all different items, which we update each hour. We'll give you those. But really, for the rest of you, $1, $2, $5. And this, during our show today, I already told you that my good friend Lee Eisleiter has decided to be very generous, and any donation made during the program between 1 and 6:30, he will add 50% onto each donation. Not a donation, all the donations. So you give 100, he gives an extra 50. You give 25, he gives half. You give 50, he gives half. Whatever it is, up to $10,000. So this is an incredibly generous gift from him. Obviously, he's been very fortunate in his business life. First with Grey Goose, and now with his buddy George Clooney and their Casamigos tequila, which they just sold for a lot of money. They've been very successful, so he's given back, which is very nice of him, and very nice of him to do this on the program. So anything you give between now and 6:30, he will give 50% more. So jump on that. Update time. Here's Mr. Matt.